All right, so first off, all praise to Yahweh, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth, and also Shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I'm of that number. Okay, so to start off this video, I want to go to the fair use, because in this explanation, we're going to use videos from um, YouTube and articles from online. All right, so I just want to go ahead and get this stated. All right, fair use. It says copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. It says fair use is a doctrine in the United States copyright law that allows for limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders, such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, or scholarship. It provides for the legal, non-licensed citation or incorporation of copyrighted material in another author's work. All right, so I just wanted to get that out of the way, because these people that run the earth, the wicked, all right, they don't hold up to not even their own doctrines or contracts. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there, because when you come against this truth, Esau, and your little slick ways, all you're doing is building a testimony against you. Okay, so also I want to start here in Micah chapter 2. All right, what this video has to do with, which I didn't state, but you can probably tell by the title, is the micro saith, or the MotB, okay, or the charagma, all right, or the mark of the beast, which is what MotB is, okay. This is what we're going to speak on a little bit today. All right, first, now let's give this warning to Esau really quick. Woe to oppressors. This is in Micah chapter 2. We'll start here at verse 1. It reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And this is the type of system that we're in. All right. This is iniquity that has been devised and has been going on in the world for a while. All right. Since Esau always operates in this fashion. Okay. There's always something going on behind the scenes. Okay. That they try to hide, while in the storefront, all right, it's all peace and roses and, okay, charity work, if you ask them, all right, or if you ask the world. But behind the scenes, there are and is always some iniquity going on, all right, when it comes to this man, as it's stated here in verse 1. Let's see what that says in the NLT. Verse 1, Micah 2 and 1 in the NLT. It reads, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so. They are in the power seat at this time until the Lord comes back, because the Lord is the only one that's going to take them out of power. But while they are in power, all right, they are devising these evil plans, all right? And the main thing is to separate Israel from their name and their power, okay? All right. So I do want to go back here now and read or go to the interlinear and see what this devise iniquity is, okay? So again, the verse reads in the King James, woe to them that devise iniquity. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1, with the heading being woe to oppressors, all right? Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. All right, let's go down here and see what that is. So woe to them. What is woe? Let's go ahead and start there.
Strong's H 1945. Hoy. Hoy.
All right, woe. His outline, biblical usage, it says ah or alas or ha. All right, akin to H188. Now hold on a second. Let me go ahead and see. Okay, passionate cry of grief or despair, in the sense of crying out after a lamentation. Let me see. Let's get a better definition. Hold on a second here. Let's go to Google and see what it says. Woe is in the scriptures. When AI overview in the scriptures. Woe is a powerful term signifying a divine pronouncement of judgment, a deep lament of sorrow and grief, or a declaration of calamity and misfortune. All right, and this is what it is. It is a divine pronouncement of judgment to the ones that are in power, all right, which is a declaration of calamity and misfortune, because this is what is going to come upon the wicked, all right, Esau, Edom. All right, let's see. It is an exclamation of distress that calls out sin and corruption, often functioning as a warning of impending negative consequences or a curse upon those who rebel against Yahweh Baal Shem Shai's commands. Now, the main characters are the antagonists in the world in the movie that the Lord has going on here. All right, because these scriptures, all right, that's where the word script comes from. Or that's contained in that contains the word script. All right, this is a movie that we are living out. All right, this is the Lord's movie. Okay, so yes, he pronounced a divine pronouncement of judgment towards the people in power. Because what? Because we read it back here in the beginning. Let me get this again. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And this is talking about two oppressors. All right, who are the main oppressors of the world? It is Esau, Edom. Okay, so woe to them that devise iniquity. Let's go in here and see what that is. Let's see what devise. Devise means to think or plan. Okay, to calculate, invent. All right, to imagine. All right, man. To charge, impute, or reckon. To invent. To be thought. To be accounted. To be imputed. To think upon, consider, be mindful of. To think, to do. To devise, to plan. All right. Strong's definition, it says a primitive root properly to plate or interpenetrate, i.e., literally to weave or generally to fabricate, figuratively to plot or contrive, usually in a malicious sense. Hence, from the mental effort to think, regard, value, compute, all right, to conceive, consider, all right, to use cunning, all right, to devise, to find out, to forecast, to imagine, to invent, okay, to be made, to regard, to think, all right. So that is what that the devise is, all right, to come up with a plan. All right, let's go back here. Woe to them that devise or that plan iniquity. What is iniquity? Let's go in here and see what that is. It says trouble, sorrow. You plan trouble. Esau. Edom plans trouble. He plans wickedness. He plans sorrow. He plans idolatry. All right, it says trouble of iniquity. Man. All right, let's go back here now. So woe to them that devise iniquity and work. Let's see what this work is. To do, to make, all right? They come up with a plan and they put it to work. All right, they put it to action. All right. All right, it says, and work evil upon their beds. What is evil? All right, disagreeable, malignant, unkind. All right, distress, man. All right, I think we get the point here. When the morning is light, they practice it. Let's see, we practice it. This is putting it in action. All right, they accomplish it. All right, a lot of people have fell for the plans that they do, and in turn, that's what makes it known that they accomplish the plans. We've talked about in Revelation 13 and 16, it's speaking about, and he causeth all. That word causeth going back to make ready. So at the same time to institute. So they make you ready by getting you used to their plans, by presenting their plans to you and getting you used to following them. All right, they accomplish their plans with a lot of people. All right, this is how they're going to be able to cause it all. All right. Okay, so we get the point. Now let's go back here and read some more in Micah. I'll start at 1 again, with the heading again being woe to oppressors. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Now, part of this plan and how this verse directly has to do with the warning or the prophecy that we find in Revelation 13 and verse 16, which this devising of iniquity and working it upon their beds and practicing it because it is in the power in their hands, it's been going on for a long time. But we're speaking about a specific prophecy, so this is what we're tying this verse to in the context of Revelation 13 and 16. All right, if they get you caught up in their systems, if they get you caught up in their plans, where you trust in them, or you just even get used to going along with what they say, all right, they know this. They didn't start doing this. They didn't come up with this method for no reason. The Lord didn't put them in this power seat and give them the power to do the things that they do for no reason. All right, it's all going to lead up to prophecy, or prophecy has led all of this to come to fruition. All right, so when you get caught up in their divination or their devising, their planning of iniquity, okay, and when they put this thing forth, a lot of people are going to fall for it. All right, a lot of people are going to take this mark of the beast because you won't believe the truth. You don't listen to the men of the Lord. You listen to the people in power, or the people who have perceived power, the people with money. All right, because a lot of people equate money to power. All right, the Lord has power, man. Do they ever talk about the Lord having a bunch of dollar bills in the scriptures? All right, no. Power is not equated to money when it comes to spiritual things. All right, this knowledge is equated to riches. All right, we don't equate riches to money. Although money in this world is a defense, it helps keep a roof over your head, all right, clothes on your back and food on your table. But in the kingdom to come, we're not going to be spending dollar bills, man. Okay, but now in this time, people look up to money. All right, they love money. So Micah 2:2, it says, and they covet fields. All right, remember this iniquity has been here for a while. All right, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So this is what the separating of Israel. They separate the people of Israel from knowing that they are the people of Israel. They separate the people of Israel from knowing who their power is. And I'm not talking about the people who are in the land over there. Okay? I'm not talking about the people that are in the land over there. And we're going to read all this again in the NLT. Okay? But this is describing the oppressors, right? Esau, Edom. Okay? We haven't we don't preach and teach colorism, right? Color does act as a piece of the truth, right? There are clues to whom or who as far as color is, but you can't go by that alone, all right? But what does point to whom is who are the descriptions, the traits and the characteristics of Esau, the traits and characteristics of Jacob, all right, the Israelites, versus these people out here that call themselves Jewish or Israelis, and the whole world just goes by their ears alone. They hear that someone is Jewish or Israeli, and then they equate it to that picture of the Messiah being white, and they just think that's the whole package right there. All right, they don't go by scripture. They don't go by prophecy. Who is who? All right, but it's all throughout the scriptures, and it points to, it gives different kinds of traits and characteristics. All right, to whom is who, and the confusion wouldn't be around if people paid attention to the truth, but they don't. They'd rather go with what makes them comfortable. Okay, so I'll read this again in the NLT. So if you don't understand it by how these words say it, maybe you'll get it by the NLT, or maybe I'll even read it in the Good News translation. But let's go ahead and keep on going in the King James. So now Micah 2:3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I deserve, or do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. So it doesn't matter how many people don't like this truth. It doesn't matter how many people think that the Lord is all love. It doesn't matter how many times you say that the Lord is all love. You think you're going to change him into all love and he's just going to forget about the debt that Esau Edom is going to have to pay? We had to pay for falling away from the Lord. You see everything that has happened to Israelites. All right, what makes you think that now that it's time for our punishment to be over, that they aren't going to receive theirs? That's the Lord is balanced, man. And this again is not our words that we're putting this in these scriptures. This is what the Lord says, man. That's why I started out Micah 2:3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord. Okay? So now moving on to Micah 2:4. In that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation. Remember, woe to them that devise iniquity. Remember what we said, woe was a lamentation against these people. Okay? So in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. All right. And this is what's going on now. This man is being exposed for whom he is. And now we're starting to lift up a parable against him. All right, we're starting to let out these woes. Let it be known whom are truly who in these scriptures through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, the world didn't even tell you, or the people in power didn't even tell you the true names. All right, now the world wants to act like before this truth they always knew. Then why were you disrespectful to the almighty power and his son by calling them out their names? And a lot of the world are still sticking by that J word, man. That's all you call them is God and the J word. All right, but all this time you knew. So Micah 2 and 5, therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast the cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not. Say to them that prophesy, they shall not prophesy to them, that they shall not take shame. All right, you're going to get what you deserve. And we ain't going to soften up our words for you, man. The truth is the truth. Okay? Micah 2 and 7, O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord straitened? Do you understand this? It makes all the sense in the world. Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? And the people in power do not walk uprightly. They are the most crooked people on this planet, man. Because the Lord set them up to be that way. Micah 2 and 8. Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely, as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. All right, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is not the way that the Lord intended us to be. All right, we're not going to find any rest here. It doesn't matter if you know what? Even the people that have retired and living a good life, you think that's it? Sooner or later, these people are going to come take what you think you have earned, and maybe you have put in the work. Maybe you have busted your ass for that and broke your back for the things that you have. But do you think they care? Pretty soon you're going to understand what's going on here, man. And then you have people planning on forwarding their life in the world, in this world. They're never going to let you make it. All right? They're never going to let you make it. This is not your rest. It goes on to say, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. All right? The way you're going to feel when you start to realize that this is the truth, and your illusion was held up by you wanting to be comfortable. You know how you're going to feel when that stuff just falls apart in front of your face? Okay? It's going to destroy you, man. Micah 2 and 11, if a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. You know, the blind leading the blind. It says, I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. All right, so this describes the oppressor. Okay, woe to them that devise iniquity. All right, so now let's go ahead and go here to Revelation 13, the main reason for this video. All right, Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. It reads, and he causeth all, both small and great. Now, who is this he? The oppressor. All right, Esau, Edom, the wicked. And he causeth all, right, to make ready, and so at the same time to institute. What is he going to make ready? Well, furthermore, in this verse, it'll tell you this verse, and then the power of this thing, or the explanation for this thing is going to come about in the 17th verse. So, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That includes you people who are on the come up, or you people who already feel like they're up or have some type of status. That includes you people who are poor. All right. Rather perceived poor, rather perceived rich, rather perceived comfortable in the middle, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's going to causeth all right, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And how is he going to do this? Because of his plans, because of Micah 2. He devised this iniquity, and he worked the evil upon their beds. And when the morning is light, all right, every single day, they put it to work. All right, they make it go. They oil that machine. They turn the machine on, and their plans go out into the earth because it is in the power of their hand to do so. And a lot of people are caught up in their system. All right, even all of us were. All right, the men of the Lord, we were all caught up in this system. But now, since we know the truth, all right, now since we can see everything as it is, and man, Lord willing, we won't get caught up in the receiving of this mark. All right, being so intertwined in their system, in their divisive iniquity, that we end up leaning on them and taking their mark. Lord willing, that does not happen. But most of the world, that's going to happen to. Okay? So what is this mark that he's going to cause it all to receive in their right hand or on their foreheads? It is the charagma. It is the microsaith. All right? It is the mark of the beast. All right? For what reason is he going to do this? Or how is he going to do this? Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so if you don't receive this mark, if you think you're not caught up in their system, they're going to test you. All right, unless you take this, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. How else, again, do you receive food? All right, most people in this world are not growing their own food, and even if you are, you know what are they doing to deter that? All right, they're making everything. What do you call that? They're polluting everything. All right, whether it be the things that they're spraying in the air. All right, whether it be demonizing farmers or people who grow their own food. Okay, or people who don't. They demonize people who don't listen to them, and most of the world falls along with that. That's a part of that the devising of evil. All right, the working of that plan. That's that plan that they have put into the earth. Having everybody trust them. So how else do you get a roof over your head? How else do you get clothes on your back? All right, without buying or selling. Okay, that is that system. This is their plan. It's been their plan for a long time, all right? And they have been working. They haven't been sitting still, okay? They have been working to get this thing through, all right? This thing meaning their plan. And ultimately, the climax of their plan is pushing this mark of the beast, all right? Because it acts as a badge of servitude. As a matter of fact, let's go in here and look at this word for mark. Here it is.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right, charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the, it says here, Antichrist. Anti against Christ, all right, meaning the anointed or the Messiah. So of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the ones that are against the Messiah. All right, this is a badge of the followers. If you take this, this is proving that you follow them rather than following the Lord. Okay, it acts like a mark. It says a mark branded upon horses. What does that do? What does a branding on a horse do, or any kind of cattle? It shows ownership. Okay, it says also that it's a thing carved. Okay, because they have to carve these. They have to carve you and sculpture. They have to sculpt this thing into being rice, a grain of rice-sized micro hip. Okay, Strong's definition of charagma says a scratch or etching, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude. All right, not only a badge of following, but a badge of servitude. In service to who? Service to the Antichrist. And there are many Antichrists. Anybody that is against the Messiah. You may be an Antichrist. If you come against the names, if you come against the fact that the Lord is a man just like you and I, he had a father and mother, all right, you are an Antichrist. Okay? If you come against the fact that the Lord doesn't love everyone, you are an Antichrist. If you come against the fact that the Lord only loves Israel, you are an Antichrist. All right. A lot of people think they know what's in the scriptures, but they don't. What was I about to type in just really quickly here? Okay. Not. Listen to this now. All right, for you Israelites out there, it says that let me open this up really quickly here. We're going to Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, "Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, but not according to knowledge." Let's go in here and look at this zeal. Okay.
Strong's G 2205. Zelos. Zelos.
All right. It says excitement of mind. Right. You have an excitement of mind when it comes to what the world calls God. All right. But his name is Yahweh. Okay. His name is Yahweh. And the son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right. It says fervor of spirit. Okay. Zeal. It says ardor and embracing, pursuing, defending anything. Zeal in behalf of. It says for a person or thing. The fierceness of indignation, punitive zeal, and envious and contentious rivalry or jealousy. So you feel like you feel like you're on fire for the Lord, but it's not according to knowledge though. And that's what he was speaking of here. Let me read that verse again, especially verse 1, because I want to show you another verse that talks about you might being saved. All right. Romans 10 and 1, or let me start at 2 first. Romans 10 and 2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, but not according to knowledge. Verse 1 says, "Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai for Israel is that they might be saved." The only way you would be saved is accepting this truth, man. Well, if the Lord wants you to be saved, you're going to be saved. But a big part of it is putting on this armor, right, which is the truth. Let me get this. Let me get this verse. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right. And I'm going to start here at 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed." This is the time that we're in now. "Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." All right. Having his men open their mouths to put this truth into the earth, prophesying. All right. Letting it be known what the scriptures truly say. "And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right, when the Lord comes upon this earth, it's It's going to be over for these people. It's going to be over for a lot of the world. All right, these comfortable lives you think you're living in are going to be destroyed. All right. 2 Thessalonians 2:9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. There is a spiritual demon, Satan, but there are the people here that work as his counterpart. All right. The ones doing the working of Satan, the ones who are anti-Messiah. Okay. Who set up these systems, who are oppressors in this time. All right. Working iniquity. Okay. And then 2 Thessalonians 2:10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. All right, because the ones that perish, okay, it says, because they received not the love of the truth that they might be saved. You reject this truth. Okay, you reject it. The Lord has you rejected because it's not put on him to have you, or it's not put on you to be saved. All right. So let's go back here now. Okay, so you have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right. So if that's the case, you are going to receive this badge because you follow the ones that are against the Messiah. You don't follow the Messiah. Okay. You don't even recognize the Lord. Okay. Don't even recognize the Lord. You don't recognize his voice or anything, or what's the truth and what are lies. You don't recognize any of that. And this is pretty late in the game, man. It's pretty late. So now let's go to that. Let's go from that to here. Okay. I'm going to start. There's 3 things I want to show. And the first thing is going to be the closure date. And we're going to go back in time to show you that this thing has always been in plan. All right. Devising iniquity. Okay. All right. And what was that? Iniquity hath already been at work. Let me see. Hold on. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. This has already been going on. Like I said in Micah 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity. The Lord knows who he put down here to do what. He knows who is doing what. Because his spirit made these people who they are. All right. Okay. And he did it all out of love for Israel. To show what it was like, what it would be like to have a world ran by evil, by wickedness. Okay, we had to fall to learn what it was like to be evil, man. At the end of all this, we're going to come out clean. All right, Lord willing, we are of that number. All right, we want to be a part of this first dominion. Okay, we don't want to say, okay, well, we're going to be forgiven anyway. We're going to come back and rule the kingdom anyway, so fuck it. All right, no, that's not the way you want to think, man. You don't know how the Lord is going to take you out. Okay? You don't know the trouble that's coming, man. You know that saying, 6 million ways to die, choose one? And the Lord could choose them all for you. All right? So, anyway, I want to get to this video right here. This is from 2022. All right, we already did the fair use statement at the beginning of this video. As a matter of fact, let me check this time really quickly here. Damn, it's already been 40 minutes. So I'm gonna cut this video, then we're gonna come back right on the heels of this, Lord willing, and we're gonna go into what we have to show, and then we have some more verses, and then that'll be that. All right. So I hope this came through as sincere and edifying. And with that, all praise to Yahweh. All right. All praise to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the prophets of doom. All right. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.